Hello YouTube, Mozilla here. Today I am smoking I guess a new pipe for me. It's the one that I've had in the collection that I haven't smoked, and this is a Kirsten pipe, and this particular one has the bent uh, kind of setup on it here. This is normally screwed into the bowl here. Um, but in this I've got some Orlet Golden Sliced. I've only been smoking this here about, I would say, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And um, honestly, I don't know if this tobacco was a good choice for testing this pipe because it was kind of on the dry side already. Um, I think maybe this would be a better test for an aromatic, but essentially how these work or how they're designed or whatever. On this end, of course, you have the mouthpiece. There's an O-ring inside of here that kind of seals up this end. And then on this low side, I don't know if you can see it too well, but this top of this is flat. So essentially, this is the valve. Not sure exactly outside of cleaning or if you're resting it why you would turn this, but essentially, there's a hole in this cap that pulls out. Um, I said it's more of a valve than a cap, but imagine this pulls out, there's a hole, and that lines up with the hole here on the bowl, and that's how you get your airflow. And the moisture also goes through there. Like I said, normally, I think the bowls are normally cinched up here. This one, in this case, this one's a bent, so it's got a little bit different shape to it, but essentially, it's kind of the same idea. On the end of this mouthpiece, there's a rod. It's almost like a stinger, but it goes all the way down to here, to almost the end of the pipe, and then there's a single hole on. I think on this one it's the right hand side. I don't know if it always is the same, or I'm assuming that rod can come out of the mouthpiece, but essentially there's a hole there. So what that does is it keeps that rod suspended in this chamber. This is all hollow here on this chamber, and that rod kind of sits in the middle of it. So if there is any moisture that collects on the bottom, obviously it's not going to be able to go back into your draw hole because it's, there's probably a good half inch before it comes through there. So, but it's been smoking good. I was a little bit nervous. The bowl on the bottom's got a weird kind of a cross section, and on this particular bowl, it's fairly wide, but it's not very deep. So getting the pack in there was a little bit different. It's smoking real cool, real dry. Like I said, uh, this one I kind of expected to be a little bit hotter, not so much dry, just because it is. Like I said, it's a little dried out. It was a tin I had sitting that was hiding from me, and it was a little bit dry. So the one downside with this pipe, of course, is it's very hard to set anywhere. Suppose if you had some of those plastic pipe rests, you could probably make something work. But since there's no really size width-wise, um, unless you're using one of the old style pipe stands just for storage, that would work. But having anything, if I wanted to lay this down right now, it's going to go on its side in this bowl. Like I said, it's not the easiest to pack. It's probably going to all dump out. So, and there is O-rings in there. Depending on I don't know. I haven't really looked into too much what they use, but um, if they're more of a rubber O-ring, I'm sure I can find some silicone ones. I do a lot of RC stuff, and a lot of the O-rings and stuff that we've traditionally used for those. I've gone to a lot of silicone where they just don't wear out as fast. Of course, silicone is food grade depending on what they have on the outside of it, but the I guess kind of the downside is silicone is known more for absorbing odors and taste. So there is potential with that where you might get more uh, more of a taste from previous tobaccos, depending. So that's why I was always told to stay away from all those silicone ice molds, is because they say using those you get a lot more of that freezer taste because the silicone just tends to absorb more of that in. But other than that, like I said, the cleaning on this should be pretty easy. Of course, you're going to have probably more of a bigger brush to kind of clean this chamber out. But I think everything else, like I said, you got your stem there, standard pipe cleaner, the bowl. I assume will be real easy to clean out because there's a plate that sits right above this thread here on the other side of the bowl. I think the bowl actually threads into this bottom, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but that should be fairly easy to clean. It's kind of almost a dump and wipe out. So I'm interested. I think I do have two or three more of these. I think the other ones are more of the standards, where the bowl's on the top. So I'd be curious to see the difference. And maybe I'll smoke some aromatic in one of these and see how that goes. Like I said, this so far has been pretty good. Haven't necessarily really been taking it easy on it, but like I said, also it doesn't have a lot of moisture. So if anything, I would notice the heat before I would notice any moisture. But um, so far so good. So this might be one I start to keep in. Uh, I guess my testing rotation. I usually have 10 pipes or so a week that I just rotate in and out on different pipes just to kind of get the feel for what I like. Um, so this might be one that goes in there and give it a shot for a week and see what it does. But anyway, yeah. So I seen the video that Binome Joe did of the brownie I made. Um, so those of you that weren't aware, last June I had done a giveaway for the kind of like a memorial remembrance of my dad. And one thing I did was I had mixed up a batch of tobacco that kind of um, just kind of reminded me of something he would like. So I had some burley in there. I had some a little bit of dark fired, and then I had some pretty well aged English that was really mild. Um, so with that, I did some blackberry brandy because he really liked the Fire Dance Flake, and that was kind of a blackberry brandy topping on there. And then I put a little bit of vanilla in it, just kind of round it out a little bit. Kind of work with the burley some more. I would think the brandy might just be a little lopsided on its own. So when I did that, when I was pressing, I noticed there was a lot of liquid coming out, almost like a sap that would come out of there. Every time I tighten it up, I had it in a tray, and I was torquing it down for a couple weeks, and when it came out, it was super sticky. I'm guessing it was partly because of the brandy, and maybe I didn't let it actually soak up enough or stay in with the brandy before I pressed it. So I'm thinking that's what it was, but it didn't sound like it turned out too great, which was kind of a bummer. I did keep some myself that wasn't pressed, um, and I had let that sit out for in the bag for quite a while, let it kind of dry out here and there, and like I said, wasn't my favorite thing, but it just kind of brought some nuances back, and so it's good to see him try that and kind of give his thoughts on it. I'm glad to see him back. So yeah, anyway, like I said, I'll be trying out this pipe. You might see it in another video. You might see one of the other ones coming up. Like I said, this is Friday, so right now at work we're doing our kind of Friday afternoon off. We work some extra time during the week, and then we get the afternoon on Friday off. So I like that because it gives me more time to do things around the house for a little bit before my wife heads for work. Or thereafter, I got kid duty, so uh, doing anything after that is going to be fun. So, but like I said, I'll get back to smoking this. Um, if I find anything for O-rings, I guess I can put a link in case anyone else has them or is interested. Um, I'm assuming you could still buy these. I haven't looked around. I'm assuming they're almost like a uh, Falcon pipe. I think they're still making Falcons. Um, I would think it would be something similar to that, where you can still buy new ones. Um, so like I said, I'll give this a shot, see how it rolls, and then who knows, it might be one of my new favorites. So um, hope everyone enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.